Hey everyone, welcome back to Feel English Podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jake. Thanks for joining us again.
Today's topic is something I think many of us can relate to: why kind people get hurt the most.
Yeah, that sounds deep. Kindness is beautiful, but sometimes it feels like the kinder you are, the more you get hurt.
Exactly. We'll talk about why that happens and how to stay kind without losing yourself.
And if you enjoy practicing English with us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with a friend.
We'd also love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever felt hurt after being kind to someone? What happened and how did it make you feel?
All right, let's get started.
You know, Jake, I've always been told that kindness makes the world better, but sometimes being kind feels like walking around without armor.
That's such a good image. Without armor. It means you're open, vulnerable. When you care a lot, you can get hurt easily.
Right, and many kind people don't expect much in return. They just want to make others happy. But when their kindness is ignored or used, it really stings.
It stings. That's a nice phrase to learn. It means something hurts, but not physically. It hurts your feelings.
I remember helping a friend during her hard time. I listened to her for hours, gave advice, even skipped my own plans. But later, when I needed help, she wasn't there.
Ouch. That's a classic example. I've felt that too. Sometimes kind people give because it feels natural, not for reward, but when others don't care, it still breaks your heart a little.
Maybe the reason kind people get hurt is because they feel more deeply. They notice emotions, silence, even small changes in someone's tone.
Yeah, and when you notice everything, you also feel everything. Empathy is a gift, but it can also be heavy to carry.
That's true, and that's what we'll talk about next: how empathy, the ability to understand others' feelings, can become both a blessing and a burden.
Stay with us. This part is going to get real.
So Anna, you mentioned empathy, that deep ability to feel what others feel. Do you think that's the reason kind people often get hurt?
Definitely. Empathy is like having your emotional volume turned up. You don't just see what someone's going through, you feel it.
Yeah. When someone's sad, you almost feel their sadness in your own chest. It's beautiful, but also heavy sometimes.
Exactly. I remember once a coworker was going through a breakup. Everyone else said, "Oh, she'll be fine." But I couldn't stop thinking about her pain. I checked in every day. I felt like I was living her heartbreak too.
That's what empathy does. It makes you carry emotions that aren't yours. And after a while, that emotional backpack gets really heavy.
I like that emotional backpack. Learners, it means you're holding emotional weight from other people. It's not physical, but it still makes you tired.
Totally. And you know what's ironic? Empathic people often forget to show empathy to themselves.
So true. They comfort everyone else, but rarely stop to ask, "Hey, how am I doing?"
Yeah, it's like being a candle lighting up others but burning yourself down.
Wow, that's powerful. I think many listeners might relate to that. Sometimes we give our time, attention, or care until we feel empty.
And that's when hurt comes in, because when you're emotionally empty, even small disappointments feel huge.
Right. It's not that kindness is wrong. It's just that when you care deeply, every small rejection feels louder.
Maybe that's why kind people often say, "I wish I could stop caring so much." But honestly, I don't think the world needs less kindness. It just needs kinder balance.
I love that phrase, kinder balance. Being kind, but not losing your energy.
Yeah, kindness isn't just about giving, it's also about managing what you can handle emotionally.
That leads perfectly into what we'll talk about next: how giving too much without balance can leave kind people feeling empty or unappreciated.
A little story coming next, right?
Oh, yes, and it's one that many of us have lived through. So, Jake, have you ever felt like you gave too much? Like your kindness went unnoticed or unreturned?
Oh, absolutely. I think we've all been there. There was a time when I helped a friend move apartments. I carried boxes all day, skipped lunch, and even stayed late to clean up. A week later, I asked him for a small favor, and he said he was too busy.
Ouch, that hurts.
Yeah. It wasn't about the favor itself. It was the feeling of, did my effort mean nothing?
I completely get that. It's not about keeping score, but when kindness feels one-sided, it creates quiet pain, like invisible disappointment.
That's a nice phrase. One-sided kindness. It means only one person gives while the other just takes.
Yes, and kind people often keep giving, even when they know it's not fair. They think, maybe this time it'll be different.
Exactly. I once read a quote, "You teach people how to treat you by what you allow." And that hit me hard.
Oh, that's a powerful one. Sometimes we confuse kindness with self-sacrifice. We think being kind means saying yes all the time, even when it hurts us.
Yeah, but kindness without limits can slowly turn into self-neglect. When you care for others but forget about yourself.
I had a friend who was always helping everyone. She'd drive people around, lend money, stay up late, listening to their problems. But one day she said, "I feel invisible."
Wow, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I asked her why. And she said, "Because everyone comes to me for help, but no one comes to me for me."
That's the emotional cost of giving too much. When kindness isn't returned, it can make you feel unseen.
Exactly. And over time, that can lead to bitterness, the opposite of what kindness is supposed to bring.
So the lesson is kindness should flow both ways.
Right. Real kindness doesn't mean giving everything. It means giving wisely.
That's perfect. And it connects beautifully to what's coming next. Those times when even good intentions get misunderstood, and how that adds another layer of pain for kind people.
Yes, sometimes the heart means well, but the message gets lost.
So, Anna, let's talk about those times when kindness gets misunderstood. You know, when you try to do something good, but somehow it ends up hurting or confusing someone.
Oh, yes, that happens more often than we think. I remember once I offered to help a coworker with her presentation. I thought I was being supportive, but she got upset and said I was trying to take over.
Oh no, that must have felt awful.
It did. I meant well, but she saw it differently. That's when I realized sometimes people don't see the intention, they only see the action.
Yeah, and that's one of the hardest lessons for kind people. You can have the purest heart, but if the other person misunderstands your action, you still end up feeling hurt.
Right. That phrase, pure heart, means someone with good intentions, no hidden motives. But even that can be misread.
I've had that too. I once tried to comfort a friend who was quiet after a fight. I said, "Hey, I understand how you feel." But he snapped back, "No, you don't." I was shocked. I just wanted to help.
Wow, that kind of moment cuts deep. Because you care, you try, but instead of gratitude, you get rejection.
Yeah, it's like your kindness hits a wall.
Good phrase. Hits a wall means it doesn't go anywhere. It stops suddenly.
Exactly. And the worst part is, kind people often blame themselves afterward. They think, maybe I said the wrong thing, or maybe I shouldn't have tried.
That's so true. But misunderstanding doesn't mean your kindness was wrong. It just means people receive things through their own emotions and experiences.
I like that. Everyone has their own lens, their own way of seeing the world. Sometimes kindness doesn't fit that lens and it gets distorted.
Yeah, it's like trying to speak the language of kindness, but the other person hears something else.
Beautifully said. So, what can kind people do when this happens?
I think they need to learn boundaries, not walls, but healthy limits, so they can stay kind without breaking apart when things go wrong.
That's powerful. Boundaries don't mean being cold, they mean protecting your warmth.
Exactly. Let's talk about that next. How to stay kind, but also strong enough to say no when needed. So, Jake, we've talked a lot about how kindness can hurt, but maybe the missing piece is boundaries.
Totally agree. I used to think saying no made me selfish, but actually, it's one of the kindest things you can do for yourself and for others.
Yes, because if you keep saying yes to everyone, you'll end up saying no to yourself.
Exactly. I like that line. It's like emotional math. You only have so much energy. If you give it all away, there's nothing left for your own peace.
That's so true. You know, one phrase I love is, you can't pour from an empty cup. It means you can't keep giving if you're drained.
That's a perfect image. I used to help everyone at work, cover shifts, fix things, listen to complaints. I felt useful, but inside I was exhausted. One day I just burned out.
Burned out. Good vocabulary there. It means being so tired emotionally or physically that you can't keep going.
Right. After that, I learned to pause before saying yes. Now I ask myself, do I want to help or do I feel obligated to?
That's a huge difference. Real kindness comes from love, not guilt.
Exactly. And setting boundaries doesn't mean you care less. It means you're choosing when and how to care.
I like that. Sometimes people think boundaries are walls that push others away, but I see them more like fences with gates. You decide when to open them.
That's a great metaphor. A fence keeps you safe, but a gate lets love in when it's healthy.
Yes, and when you protect your space, your kindness becomes more genuine, more peaceful.
I've noticed that too. When I take care of myself, I actually have more patience and warmth for others.
Exactly. Self-care isn't selfish, it's preparation.
So, I guess the key lesson is boundaries don't stop kindness, they shape it.
Beautifully said. And that brings us to our final part. How to stay kind but strong, open-hearted but not broken.
Yeah. How to keep that soft heart in a hard world.
So, Jake, after everything we've talked about, empathy, giving too much, misunderstandings, and boundaries, what do you think it really means to stay kind without losing yourself?
I think it means keeping your heart open, but also knowing when to protect it. You don't have to harden your heart to stop hurting. You just have to handle it with care.
That's beautiful. Sometimes people think the only way to stop getting hurt is to stop caring, but that's not true. You can stay soft, just stronger.
Exactly. Like the ocean, gentle on the surface, but deep and powerful underneath.
Wow, I love that. Gentle but powerful. That's what healthy kindness looks like.
Yeah. I think kind people just need to remember that they deserve the same love and patience they give to others.
So true. One thing that helps me is reminding myself I can be kind and still say no. It's not cold, it's honest.
That's such a great phrase for our listeners to practice. I can be kind and still say no. Simple but strong.
And another one, my feelings matter too. Sometimes kind people forget that.
Right. Kindness should never come at the cost of your peace.
You know, Jake, I think people who get hurt easily are often the ones who love deeply. They notice beauty. They care about others. They give their time and heart.
Yeah, and that's something to be proud of, not ashamed of.
Exactly. The goal isn't to stop being kind, it's to be wise in kindness.
I love that word, wise. It means learning from your experiences without losing your heart.
Yes. Maybe that's what growing up really means. Not becoming harder, but becoming clearer.
Well said, Anna. Let's wrap this up with a little reflection for everyone listening.
So, today we explored why kind people get hurt the most.
We learned that it's not weakness, it's sensitivity, empathy, and love.
Yeah. Being kind doesn't mean letting people walk over you. It means caring with awareness, helping with balance, and loving with boundaries.
And if you've ever been hurt because of your kindness, remember your heart is not wrong. It's just learning how to shine in a world that sometimes doesn't understand soft souls.
Beautifully said. And for everyone practicing English with us, keep learning, keep growing, and don't be afraid to feel deeply. That's what makes you human.
Thanks for listening, everyone. And remember, real English is about connection, not perfection.
See you next time on the Feel English podcast.
Bye for now, and stay kind wisely.